So hello everybody and welcome back, or welcome to if you've just found this video, simulation section. It's me and the more central. For those of you that have been in the OMSI world long enough, you will recognise my voice. For those of you that haven't, this is my OMSI 2 channel and Train Sim channel and all my simulation stuff that I used to do many years ago on the main channel, and I wanted to properly start doing it again. So, as I mentioned in the previous video, I recently heard from an old friend of mine, Iomex, who was a member of the UK development team that produced Westcountry. I remember the original Westcountry being a right path map between Paignton and Totems. It has come so far since then. And here we are standing at the end of a bus rapid transit system at the Park and Ride site, about to take the B8RLEA, RLEA. It's in the title. The B8 Bendybus. We're about to take the B8 Bendybus from the Park and Ride on a round trip to the bus station. This is our surprise vehicle. If you haven't already, do go and check out my previous video. I recommend watching that before this one. This one's not going anywhere, don't worry. I recommend watching that one before you watch this one, because that gives you my very initial reactions of this route. That was a whole lot of, oh wow, look at this, this is amazing, for about half an hour. As you are about to see with this route, you can understand why. So I was provided with this route. It is a beta map. A few bits of admin to talk about before we get into the video. This is a beta map. The idea is that this map forms sort of like an intermediate update and a bridge between version 3 and 3.03 that's currently out and version 4 of Westcountry. So this is going to be a bridge. As far as I'm aware, this is going to be a route released as part of like a 3.5 or like 3 point summit in the middle between 3 and 4. 4 is going to see a big overhaul. This is the start of said big overhaul. This is the bit you'll get to see first. This is the route that I've been presented with to show you all. I got a bit of a shock in the previous video because I was literally told, here you go, here's the map, have fun, pretty much. And I did not expect this. It's absolutely just blown me away. Absolutely blown me away. Using the Bendybuses and the types of the run that we're doing as well, it's absolutely amazing. I was provided with repaints and specified 2 vehicles. The main vehicle is the Citaro G. You can see that in the previous video. That is also forms the AI bus. And this as part of the Master Switch Studios veiling pack. This is a vehicle that they made but never really had a use for until today. This map very much gives this vehicle a use. Very much gives it a use, and I'm really excited to take it on here. A final thing to mention, this, as I say, is a work in progress. There is no release date as of yet. Iomex and the team will release it when they are happy to release it and when it is ready and when they think it's ready. There are still bits that have not been finished, so you may see AI behaving badly is the best way to put it. AI people behaving badly and AI traffic behaving badly. That is because it's not finished. It's not 100% finalised. There'll be bits you'll see on this that you may look and go, oh, that doesn't look quite right. Yeah, that's probably because it's not finished yet. So there are still bits that still need finalising. So again, just bear that in mind as you're watching this video. And I guarantee that when this map is released, just like every other Westcountry that Iomex and the UK development team have released, every other Westcountry has been perfect. This will be no exception. This will be absolutely the same. I can guarantee that. I've been in the OMSI world long enough to know that this will be perfect when it's released, because that's just what they're like. So, the livery, we are driving the Pulse brand again. So this route, for a bit of context, if you missed it or you've forgotten since the previous video, again, if you haven't, I really would go and check that one out. We are working for Stagecoach. Now, Stagecoach Southwest have won the Devon Bus franchise. So Devon Bus is now like the B network in Manchester, where it's a franchise. So the operators can bid for certain routes and sections of the franchise. The franchise is managed by Devon Metro, with a logo very similar to the Metro that you find on the Bristol Metro buses. Very nice touch there. So it's managed by the Devon Metro, but they're all Devon Bus. This Devon Bus franchise route is operated by Stagecoach, who have got a vehicle that is spec'd for Devon Metro specifications, and have obviously got all the other bits like that for it. I really like the repaint. I think it looks amazing, and I really like the idea of the pulse route, especially as we go past the hospital. For now, though, what I'm going to do is we are going to get ourselves set up because we were due out a minute ago. And then I am going to change the blind manually just to make sure it does work properly. I don't know if that will come up. Oh, it does. There we go. Look at that. So this is a hot file created specifically for this bus. That's why I wanted to show you it. Look at that. Proper pulse branding. How exciting. And all the different via destinations as well. By the university, by the hospital. So yeah, let's get it out of the parking spot. This again is the Master Switch Studios Veil Impact vehicle. It features camera mirrors that I will admit is very cool because I have actually been driving a bus on the day I'm filming this. I've actually been driving a bus with camera mirrors all day. So I'm actually feeling a little bit more confident of driving this than the Citara. I just love the exciting touch of the fact that the bay that you're in, you have to reverse out of. I do really like that. I just think that's just like, yeah, hey, let's add some entertainment factor. Now, I was going to sort of reverse it out. That's a really nice screenshot. I was going to reverse it out and then start it from around the corner, but I thought, no. I'm confident enough. I mean, famous last words, like, but I'm confident enough to reverse it out on camera, and I am. It might, the rest of it might not go to plan, but I'm confident enough to reverse it out on camera, so it's fine. So I'm led to believe this repaint will be included with the release. So if you do have this vehicle on it's sort of like purchased on your Steam or however you purchase your vehicle mods, you will be able to use it. You will be able to drive it and all of that lovely stuff. So the people here for some reason get really excited when they see a bus and then panic. See, I've never really had the opportunity to properly drive this bus. I know that sounds really bad, but I haven't. I think I've driven it possibly once or twice. And I've just never properly driven it because there's never been properly a route for it. It never has. Again, until today. To note as well, with this sort of being a fictitious vehicle, because these, although I believe they were advertised on the market, were never purchased by an operator, I have added the private cherished registration HRG 1519, which was on First Southwest's 32525. There is going to be a proper another video coming up on OMSI. I've already filmed it because I filmed it before I got the message going, hey, would you like to have a look at this? But there is going to be a video coming out saying farewell to First Southwest and First Kerno, however you want to call it, as they bow out this month, February. They bow out this month. February-ish. I think this might be coming out on Sunday, so no, they bow out in February, so this is like coming out in Jan. But yeah, add mini things. But I wanted to put the private cherished reg on of 32525, an absolute monster of a B70L Gemini. I never got to sample it in Cornwall, but I went in it many a time growing up, and I just thought it'd be a nice little nod to First Bus in Cornwall, with obviously this being based around Devon, and Cornwall just a stone's throw away. I really like the camera mirrors. And the signage there, again, this is why I wanted to do another video on this, because I'll show you that in a sec. Let's have a look. So here, There's a warning for pedestrians. Again, proper busway vibes. Like, proper busway vibes. It's going to have to be a screenshot. I also really love these totem poles. I think these totem poles are so cool. Really add to the vibe of stations along this route. Really do. Yeah, this vehicle seems very suited to this. very suited to this. And I mean, the Citaro G, obviously being a right path conversion to left many years ago, has been out a lot longer than this. This was a more recent release. So obviously the Citaro G isn't as finely tuned as this. This is just nice to drive. As someone that's not had the chance to properly drive this before, this is really nice. Like, it's got the blind at the back, you've got the 3-door spec with the livery. There is a 2-door spec as well with this in the Veiling pack. But the repaint's for the 3-door one, that's quite right, because all the platforms are set up for, I believe, 3 doors. Yeah, they're all set up for 3 doors. But again, and it really does suit the livery. The livery, like, really works on this bus. It seriously works. And the blind as well. I mean, the blind properly looks the part. Yeah, it is just really nice to actually have a route for this bus. It really is nice, because as I say, this has been out as this bus a couple of years now. And I remember when it first released, and I was like, oh, I think I took it on Oatford. I think it was the 55 in Oatford I took it on. And obviously, that map wasn't intended for that type of bus. But we managed, we coped. But this feels right. There goes the Citaro. But this really does feel right. Like, it properly suits it. On the canvas as well, like, just it really just feels at home. So nice. It just feels absolutely at home, does this bus. It really does. Let's see if I can get another screenshot up, because I am aware that the sunlight is perfect. It does take me a little bit, especially with these bendies not having the same camera zoom in perspectives as some of the other vehicles. It does take me a little bit to get the camera angle right. I will get there though. Like, there we go. I will get there. But again, it's just choosing the thumbnails. There's just so many good screenshots. Like, for me, this feels like, although as I say, we have had a little drive of this before, this does feel like the proper review of this bus, because this is the bus in sort of what this was intended for, on a route that this was made for, and it really does feel apt for it. It really does. It just feels like it really does suit this route. Like, as I say again, when I spawned in to this, I wasn't, like, I haven't been keeping up on the forums, I will be entirely honest with you. Life's just been that hectic at the moment. I usually do look at the work in progress threads, but I haven't looked in ages. Absolutely ages. It's just because I've just been so busy with just various bits and bobs. So I haven't been keeping up to date with everything that's been going on. So the context that I was given for this was, here you go, here's the map, here's the park and ride route, this is what it's going to look like. I had no idea it was this. Absolute no idea. And I think that made it slightly better. I think, like, what I do really enjoy is going into these maps that are created by quite good friends of mine, going into these work in progress maps quite blind without knowing the full context, because I think the surprise element just, like, it brings back all the fun of OMSI 2 when I first started playing it. Like, all the excitement and thrill of, oh wow, what's this map going to be like, what we expecting? And I do seriously miss that. Let's see, that was, I didn't want to be zoomed in on that. There we go. So once again, we dip down. I also forgot about, I didn't mention these. Like, this is the attention to detail that this map has. This is like the OMSI 2 equivalent of the Max Tracks Airedale and Wharfdale line. That's what this is. This is the equivalent of that. Like, if I just stop here for a second, let's have a look at the levels of detail that we've got. So we've got the bollard here. We've got the writing, we've got the clearance point to remind people that they actually need to move forward, otherwise the bollard goes up. You've then got a lighting in the middle, your bollard in the middle here with your different arrows and pointers. You've got your stop marker, you've got your signage, all the bits that you need. You've got a camera, both directional camera for the bus lane cameras. Then if you turn around on the other side, you've got your signage here. You've got the little details of a nice tree there. You've got your car parking spots. You've got your bridge warning sign. You've got the detail into the distance. You can see the city in the distance. You've got that cityscape in the distance. Then here you've got random bits like the bowls. That is actually really funny. You've got little bits like that. That's really funny. I'm glad I spotted that. Then you've got what look like individually placed tiles on there. Not just one big thing, individually placed ones like they are in real life. What else? What else? Let's find some other bits. You've got your different kinds of car parking spots. So you've got your disabled car parking spots. You've got your normal standard car parking spots with the little bits on the end here to denote the end bits that you're not supposed to park in. You've got to pay here. You've actually got a pay machine as well. It's not just like a car park that's just left. You've got the bit where in 21st century Britain, you usually have to pay for parking. You've got that. You've got the adequate lighting here, so the car park doesn't just disappear after 7 o'clock at night. And this is just the hospital. This is just the hospital, people, and it keeps going. It keeps going. And, like, that's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then what started it all off? The slow bumps here that slow you down as you're going up the hill. Again, all that detail. Like, as I say, this is unique. Like, I'm not, it's not me going, oh, well, it's better than the other work in progress, because it isn't. Every work in progress map is someone's individual project and their individual take. Everybody does something a little bit different, and that's what I absolutely love about getting maps to showcase to you all before they come out. Is I get to see the individual personality of someone and how they make their map. It's like Lincolnshire is, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love Lincolnshire because with the 103 route, I've been on that. So when I was going on that, I was like, oh my gosh, seconds, I recognise this and that. And that's its unique take because that is a realistic map using existing objects created in such a clever way by Mr. Moose. It's unreal. Then you've got the likes of Adstore, which again, another passion project, where it's this map that was created, it's been created over many years from an individual's vast passion of an area and the inspiration. The bus station being one of the most unique bus stations I've ever seen in OMSI 2. And the spleens and the planning around that's amazing. The fact it's got the open top bus route and how that works, it's got a rail replacement routing. The variety on that and how it's all been sculpted together is so clever. And then you've got this that is, let's go as fictitious as possible and let's introduce something that Britain should have done a few years ago, and let's introduce a busway with Bendybuses. And again, such a unique concept, a unique personality concept. And that's what I absolutely love about OMSI 2 and even Train Sim is it's someone's passion. It's someone's passion. It's something unique. It's something exciting. And that's very, very much what this map is, as is Adstore, as is Lincolnshire, as is Cranley, as is Strathshire. the list goes on. It's someone's own individual take on an area, or a fictitious take on an area, or someone's just gone, yeah, sod it, let's do that. I mean, that was me, like, with Humber Buses. I went on holiday when I was younger to Bridlington quite a lot on the East Yorkshire coast. So Humber Buses was inspired off that, and a couple of other similar areas. And that's what that was inspired off. So that's where I took my inspiration. Anyone wanting to go? No, they're in. So no, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So that's where I took my inspiration. Was from Bridlington and going on those holidays and bits like that. So that was my inspiration for that map, and that was my unique take on it. And this is, again, what you don't get with these games that are really rigidly set up, is you don't get that personality. You might get the odd repaint or something like that, but these maps is, like, every time we get a Westcountry, I'm absolutely blown away. Absolutely blown away. I have been lucky enough to be able to drive countless betas and work in progress updates of Westcountries in the past 10 years. I was having this conversation with Iomex recently over email, and I did say that I think the success of what I've done on YouTube is definitely, a chunk of that is down to this map. It's down to Westcountry, and the idea that I am so lucky to have some quite good friends in the community who have said, yeah, have a little drive on the map, and I've showcased you update after update and renovation after renovation, and seeing this map grow, seeing this map evolve from a right path sort of basic, sort of like properly realistic to what it is in real life map, to something that properly sparks the imagination. Something where they've gone, yes, let's go above and beyond what we've seen in OMSI 2. And again, I will be entirely honest with you all, I had thought we'd reached that point. I really thought that I wasn't going to get too much new, too much random, too much evolved. Like we do seem to have most boxes ticked at this point, but somehow managed to tick another box. Somehow, some way managed to tick yet another box off of something exciting once again. Like, it's absolutely mind-blowing, is this? And I mean, this bus suits it totally down to the ground. It's not like it's a route that's been made and then they've gone, oh, afterwards gone, oh yeah, you can put a Bendybus on that. This route has been made with these in mind. It's been made with the idea that it will use articulated buses. From the initial project, you can tell it has been made with the idea of, yeah, we will definitely be using Bendybuses on this. Because you can tell with all the different bends. I mean, as someone that has driven Bendybuses in real life, you can tell with how the route is set up that was the intention. The intention was always to have a Bendybus on this because the islands are perfect, the bus stands are perfect, the corners are ideal for this. Even the tight corners, you can look at the angle and you can go, yep, that was intended for a Bendybus. Like, you can just tell with this. It's just so good. And again, as I said in the last video, I absolutely love this retro bus station. We didn't properly stop last time, so we will stop this time to have a look at this. That's a wall. And as you can see, you've got all these different stands. I don't know what bus station this is inspired off. I'll have to... I don't know. I'll have to wait for the Iomex answer to that, because usually when I look at like a bus station like this, I can usually look at it and go, yeah, that was probably inspired off that, because I'm a bit sad and I've looked at quite a lot of bus stations in the past. I've seen many photos. I've been to many bus stations. However, this, I don't know. Like properly retro-y. Retro-y style. I know a couple of stations that were possibly similar to this, but I will have to ask for clarification on that. It definitely inspired off something. Definitely. Like, as I say, I just can't put my finger on it. I really cannot put my finger on it, but I think it looks really cool, and it really does do it justice. Like, I think it just gives off a really good vibe of, yes, they've introduced, like the B network, yes, they've introduced this brand new network and they've spent all these millions of pounds on these new buses and franchising, but they haven't managed to update the bus station. And this is the vibe that you're getting. This is very similar to sort of like some of the areas of the Greater Manchester network where it was, yeah, we've got new buses. Oh, the bus station's still old, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this. That sort of Devon have spent all the money on the bus, all the money on the buses, and putting in the franchising, but the bus station's still like, oh, it's from the 80s. Looks really cool. It really, really does. And as I say, I am very much looking forward to finding out what the bus station was inspired of, because I've seen odd similar ones like this, but I honestly cannot put my finger on what this is, what this could be inspired of. I'm not saying necessarily based off or copied off or all of that lot, but inspired from. Because I know that there are some older bus stations like this, but I'm sure there's the odd one still about in real life that's like this, or at least there was until very recently. Because for some reason PTEs and bits like that seem to be very, very, very avid on updating bus stations. That my argument for that is, yeah, brilliant spending £2 or £3 million on a brand new bus station, but if you don't spend the £2 or £3 million on keeping the buses going, you're going to have this really nice bus station, but you're not going to have any buses to go in it. There is an issue in West Yorkshire. Very much an issue in West Yorkshire. They are updating Dewsbury bus station as part of this mystical Weaver network that I will save my opinions on that for another day and another video or four. But they're updating Dewsbury bus station for this. They're updating it for the Weaver network, and that's what they've advertised on the boards. I was there quite recently driving a bus through on behalf of Yorkshire Buses on the 212, and I saw all these posters and it said, we're updating this for the Weaver network. And I thought to myself, brilliant, absolutely epic. And then I had a look at how many services had been cancelled through Dewsbury in that last hour. And I was like, oh, that's good. This fancy la-di-da bus station for no buses. Exciting. How exciting. So that's the slight oversight. I mean, with Manchester, with the B network, they've got the routes and they're paying for the routes, and that's all hunky-dory and exciting, but the slight issue with how they're working, thank you, Mr. Taxi, a slight issue with how they're working is because they've got these big franchise blocks. Everybody else has turned around and gone, oh no, we're definitely not doing them, we'll have to wait and see on that. They've all turned around and said we're definitely not doing them. The issue with them is if an operator does go on strike, which has happened, there's no buses for these shiny bus stations either. When Go Ahead went on strike, like Bolton and Wigan were like ghost towns. And I mean, back in the day when franchising wasn't a thing and hadn't even been mulled over outside of London, that would have never happened. I mean, in Bolton, for example, if Diamond went on strike, I would imagine that Vision would have stepped in and done some extra bits. And a couple of the other independents would have probably stepped in and covered some bits on the strikes. And bits like that. They'd have probably done bits like that, or they'd have at least had the other basic core services by Arriva, by Go Ahead, who were coming in, I think, at the time. I don't know. No, I don't think they were. But you'd have the basics, like you'd have Vision there, you'd have Arriva there, you'd have a couple of other the independents running through, you'd have Transdiv coming through on the 480. You'd have other bits running, so it wouldn't just be a total abandonment like it was. That is the negative of their system that they've quite quickly found out. And let's pause again here just to have a little look at some of the other details, because we didn't do this last time. And this is what I pointed out last time. This is a staple diet. If you are a bus driver, you will have seen one of these. This is the sort of tarmacked rectangle where they put the sensor. So that's where the bus has to go over in order to trigger the sensor. They exist pretty much every single bus gate ever. So if you've ever seen a bus gate, they are there. Other details to note here, a lovely nice park with a path. You've got the signage, you've got a litter bin, you've got a phone box. The detailing with the signage on the phone box outside with BT on it, I absolutely love. Over here, you've not just got a standard car park, you've got a charging car park with charging stations. Again, didn't have to go to this level of detail, but in typical Westcountry fashion, very much went to every single detail going. You've got the nice fencing with the shrubbery around it. Very nice to see. You've got you've got your buildings here. Another nice high street section there with parked cars again. Didn't have to put parked cars there, but did. Another phone box. We like phone boxes. And a stairway to presumably a blocked up subway, because they still do exist. Councils may have blocked up the subways, but the paths to them still exist. And then looking across over here and not trying to dive bomb into a building, you've got a nice cobbled street there, the kind of thing you'd have in a town as well. So yeah, let's continue. So let me know if there's any particular buses you'd like to see me driving here. They will obviously have to be single deckers, quite obviously. They will very much need to be single deckers. But do let me know. Let me know what you'd like me to say, what you'd like to see me taken here. Because we're definitely coming back for a couple more runs on here for sure. Definitely. Because this is so cool. I mean, even like the detailing on the walls, like this would have been unthinkable in OMSI 10 years ago, where we've got this idea of all the like muck and the grass growing on the walls, and then down here you've got the mucky wall as well. Like just the additional details and the consideration of, yeah, they probably didn't look after that bit, so it's probably looking a little bit mucky and they won't come around and clean it. That extra level of detail. We're definitely lucky to live in the OMSI 2 era that we live in, that is for sure. Many other things are wrong in the world at the moment, are wrong in the country at the moment, and all of that lot, and in society. However, one thing is for sure, we live in a good era for OMSI 2. Very good era. Again, as I did point out in the previous video, all the industrial buildings and the houses that you'd expect in this kind of area up there as well. And then the mucky looking river that looks more like a sewage deposit, but I would imagine it'd be a river. I would imagine. What I think's also really good is because all the bridges are low, it does feel like it forces you to use, if you've got to use a high capacity bus, it forces you to use the Bendybus. So it's not just like, I just get out a jail free card, you use a decker. It actually provides the Bendy with a purpose. Why are you going backwards? It provides the Bendybus with a purpose, so it's this thing of, yeah, you can't just get away with using a decker on this. It has to be a Bendy that I do think is a very, very nice touch. Is like you are forced to use the Bendybus, so it is a map for the Bendybuses that we've got on the UK side from OMSI 2. Now, it's been a while since I've said this, and it is something I did want in OMSI a few years ago. But I grew up with the streetcar B8RLEAs and the FTRs I grew up with, the purple Bendybuses. There's one in preservation that we're restoring at the moment at the South Yorkshire Transport Trust, for example. We've got one there. There are a couple still in existence elsewhere. There's a few for sale somewhere that I'm trying not to be tempted to buy, because they're not practical. But when you've grown up with a bus, when you grow up with a type of bus, it becomes a lot more tempting. When I grew up with them, and I remember saying years ago, oh, it'd be really nice to have one in the game. They had one for MM2. I drove it in MM2. That was a weird experience. MM2 is always a fun experience, but that was a weird experience driving that in MM2. Oh, don't dive into me. There we go. Good job we took that wide. Because I'm like, the Bendybus is on its way into me. No, we avoided it. We didn't hit anything. We now know the angle that we've got to go around that. Well, I would justify now that with this route that there is actually a purpose for the B8RLEA streetcar in OMSI. I would argue that this route is ideal for it. That this route is perfect for the B8RLEA streetcar. It would be very nice. I know that we do have other articulated vehicles in the works. I believe, I want to say, we possibly have a B8RLEA. I think we have a B8RLEA. I'm sure we have a B8RLEA. I'm sure Studio Polygon's working on a B8RLEA. And I'm pretty certain that Master Switch were, I don't know if they still are, but were working on a B8RLEA Eclipse. So, possibly more Bendybuses for this. Possibly a fictitious preserved running day style thing on here. That would be very exciting. Possibly. Something to think about. Again, this map just provides so much more excitement with that, so much more potential, and so much more use for these amazing, amazing Bendybuses being made. Because OMSI 2, for those of you that have only bought OMSI 2 more recently, you won't know what the difference between OMSI and OMSI 2 was. There was two differences between OMSI 1 and OMSI 2. The first difference was the chrono feature that was used by Bodenham in version 4 when it was still based around sort of South Yorkshire and was right path. So version 4 Bodenham, you could drive in the 1980s, you could also drive in like 2015 or whenever it came out. I want to say it was 2015. God, that makes me feel old. I remember when that map first came out. That makes me feel very old. And you could drive like 1980s, and you could use the SD77 as like the old, like an old fleet liner of an Atlantean in the South Yorkshire brown and cream colours, and you could use that on the number 12 to Oakwood, and then later on you could spawn into 2015 and take a first bus livery D92 on it instead. Or in the case I had, bizarrely, I had the B5LH, the right path B5LH that was made many years ago. Bus I don't have anymore. I won't mind again because it was a weird bus to have. I had that, and that was pretty fun. So there was a chrono feature that Bodenham, I think, was the only UK style map that properly used it. A few others did try it here and there, but never really took off. The other feature of OMSI 2 that separated it from OMSI 1 was the Bendybuses. That was literally it. It was the chrono features and the Bendybuses. And the big thing for OMSI 2 was the Bendybus. That the other countries around the world that play OMSI 2 and have created their own maps and their own vehicles have really utilised the Bendybuses, because in Britain, in the UK... Oh, I've run with door open, there we go, let's shut that. But because in Britain, in the UK, sort of since OMSI 2 came out in 2013, we've seen just a continued decline of the Bendybus usage in the UK. I mean, the only place that's using them regularly in service now is my friends up at City Transport, who have driven all of their Bendybuses, who use them on the Sunderland Connect contract. That's the only place that uses them regularly in public service now, without being at an airport. So it really has like declined in the time that OMSI 2 has been released in the past, I don't want to say 13 years, but in the past 13 years as OMSI 2 has been out, Bendybus usage in the UK has declined rapidly. So when these all came out, there was not really any maps for them, because people weren't inspired to make the maps, because people really just didn't really know Bendybuses. The people that were in OMSI 2 at that point didn't know them or had sort of forgotten about them and didn't really think of them. So having something like this based on like a modern take on Bendybuses on a BRT system is just absolutely amazing. It really, I do really, really like it because it's kind of just like it's like a what if, and that is the whole point of OMSI. The whole point of OMSI is what if this happened? What if in all daft crazy world we'd be able to do this? And that's the thing with OMSI 2. Yes, we love the realistic maps and stuff like that, but then we love the maps like this that bring this European bus rapid transit system, or the fact like the Fastway, or the a network I'm going to sample very, very soon, the Eclipse network in Gosport. This idea of a busway, what if they had bendy buses? It's so cool. I mean, as I say, I just waffling on like I did in the previous video, exactly the same, because it is the same amount of hype. It's such a good map. Such a good map. I cannot tell you how good this is. I really, really can't. Like, I'm struggling to put into words just how amazing this route is. I am absolutely overwhelmed with how good it is. Yet again, just like all the other exciting work in progress maps I'm showing you, yet again another absolutely phenomenal work in progress map. Westcountry, as I say, this route is going to bridge between versions 3 and 4. No release date yet. It is still a work in progress, so bits aren't finalised. But believe me, you've got a lot to look forward to with this. For now, though, if you'd like to send in a suggestion of a single deck vehicle you'd like to see on this route, do let me know. If there's anything you'd like me to showcase in a bit more detail, let me know and we'll have a little look through them. But for now, I really do hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as I have filming it. In this one and the previous video are just so surreal. It feels like I'm properly back in OMSI. Sort of, it's been a couple of years since I've properly devoted myself to OMSI 2. It really, really has. And sort of coming back on simulation section as the Realism channel, the amount of emails and messages and things I've received from old friends of mine in the OMSI 2 world going, oh, come and try this out, come and have a look at this. And Iomex with this was no different. It's been an absolute honour, and a big thank you to everybody who has welcomed me back so far. I'm really looking forward to making even more videos from OMSI 2 and Train Sim, just like we used to back in the day. On this dedicated channel, while the main channel, if you haven't already, do go and check it out. It is More Central. That's where all of this began. The main channel is where I do all the real life buses and drive the real life things. But it's so cool to be back in OMSI 2 when you've got a route like this that even for someone that has been driving a bus all day, this like makes it so worth driving. It's just so unique, so cool, and so exciting. And I cannot wait for you lot to be able to drive this as well. As I say, there's no release date yet, but as you can see, a lot of work has been done on it. Still bits to do, yeah, it is. This gives you an idea that Westcountry's back, and Westcountry means business, to put it quite honestly. Well, with that in mind, if you have enjoyed this video, please do support the growth of this channel, so I can keep filming more videos and what have, by clicking that like button. As that way more people will find this video and hopefully enjoy it, just like you have. If you got to this point, I do hope you've enjoyed it. And if you haven't already, then do be sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more content from me on OMSI 2, Train Simulator, and possibly another simulator here and there. I've got a lot more exciting videos coming up and scheduled, and I look forward to bringing them all to you very soon. But for now, thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video, mate. Bye for now. Bye.